What's going on, Attacker Squad? It's your boy Roman, aka Mr. Enemy 343, and today I just really had to do this live stream because basically it turns out that I've actually had a former friend of mine actually try to turn tail and actually make me as like the quote unquote bad guy here. And you might be curious who I'm actually talking about. It's Yakuza Western Killa. Basically, he had the audacity to actually, make a smear video, like an iDubbbz video, like calling me out, like a Gokunara video or anything like that. No, 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 my dude. That's not how that plays. Okay, basically, I'm just kind of curious how many downvotes you're gonna get for that. But basically, I'm just actually playing the chat here and saying, I'm actually what I am, and you just decided to actually take the low road and just, decide to actually, per se, this is actually just really, really bad on you, my dude. Basically, I'm going to need to take a few minutes just to actually make sure I got everything set up. So, make sure I got the message out. All right, I just had to share out the video and okay. But anyway, like I'm actually waiting for some friends of mine to actually show up. I just really wanted to get one thing off my chest. Appreciate it. I mean, basically, this is just me going and saying something here. I really don't like doing this kind of stuff because basically, Yakuza Western Killa actually decided to strike one of my three personal pet peeves. Pet peeve number one: people who actually attack, certain hobbies that I like or somebody else might like, and they actually just do it for clout. No, 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 no. Mm-mm-mm. That's not how that's done, okay? I don't play that crap, okay? You actually just seriously messed up, in my personal opinion. Basically, I just want you to know that you, of all people, have decided to actually personally take a stand against me. You see, my three pet peeves are, I've already told you number one. Number two is people who quote tweet me with hot takes. That really just grinds my gears. And then there's pet peeve number three: which is actually people who attack my friends or my family on on social media or whatever. Okay, basically, it just freaking aggravates me to a point where I can't stand, idly by watching someone actually just, tear into someone that I truly consider either a friend or a family member. Okay, that is just wrong, right? Well, in fact, I just really wanted to actually say to Yakuza Western Killa, dude, just freaking stop. Get help. I mean, basically, you're calling me, you're just calling me some serious names, and basically, you don't understand that basically it's not Redo of Healer is not an isekai anime. It's a dark, edgy anime. It's a dark, edgy fantasy anime. How the freak is it isekai? I mean, the freaking protagonist wasn't isekai into the freaking fantasy world that he's in now. You don't do research. You see, SJWs never, ever do research. Okay? Basically, this is what you just made was pure cringe. Absolute pure cringe. Basically, well, I'm still waiting for some guests to arrive. I hope my freaking invites actually went out, and I just hope that it just really aggravates me. And like I said, if anybody's actually out there willing to actually share this and let people know that I'm actually doing a live stream of this, I want to do this for about another 2 hours or so. And God, I got so much on my chest right now that I just really need to get this weight off. Basically, it just shows that basically Yakuza Western Killa, you're nothing more than a coward. You're a coward. You're a bully. You treat people like they're beneath you, and you don't even use facts and logic. Okay, that's just me saying this, but hell, we can actually have this little back and forth with each other. But you still owe my good friend. You still owe me and a friend an apology, and I doubt that it's ever gonna happen. But hell, I'm the one that's willing to live and let live. Okay, I'm not the kind of guy that actually likes to sulk around all day, you know, bitching and complaining about personal issues. Dude, seriously, you're the one with issues that really needs to be resolved. And this whole freaking personal like iDubbbz mimic video. Look, I have nothing against iDubbbz. Okay, basically, that's actually more like like a Keemstar type video. And basically, like I have nothing against Keem or like H3H3. Okay, I don't take part in any freaking any of that crap because basically I don't want to go down that little route of drama. But you see, people should understand that people actually don't have any preferences. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can get some more people on here as well. Oh, okay. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Private chat. Oh, alrighty. My first guest should be here any minute. I just hope she actually got the link. Should pop up under guests. Hopefully she gets it. Good Lord, this is just gonna be a friggin' day right here, guys. I'm just freaking madder than mad right now. Oh, I got a guest. Oh, let's see. Add to stream. Hey, what's up? Whoa, that just happened. Okay. Let's try this again.
Sorry.
Hear me now.
Sorry. I went to cancel a tab, and when I came back to this one, it's like, oh, you left? You're out.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. It just happened. But, basically, I really do appreciate you coming back on my stream. And I just really wanted to actually just vent out this frustration that I have against Yakuza Western Killa.
I tried to watch the video you linked, and I was willing to give him a chance, but the minute he said Chinese cartoon, I'm like, and we're done.
Yeah, basically, I just downvoted that, and basically, it just freaking pissed me off. I mean, basically, he's trying to be like iDubbbz or anything like that, and just like, look, I had nothing against iDubbbz. I had nothing against like any of these other like people that actually do this kind of stuff for a living, but I'm beyond freaking drama. Okay? And basically it's just stupid. Why people actually just have to resort to this kind of crap. That's just beyond me.
I mean, I don't get why he cares if you're defending the anime. It's your opinion if you think the anime is good. I mean, like I said when you first talked about this, I'm not a fan of JoJo, but I don't basically say, "Oh, you like JoJo? We are enemies now." It's like, no. I just say, "Okay, you can like the show. I'm not really a fan." And I move on.
Exactly. But you see, he just actually had to go and paint me as like the quote unquote bad guy in all this situation. But you see, it when people actually start calling other people out, it just shows that they're just not using their brain.
To be honest, until he started speaking, I thought he was a girl because it was the hairstyle that's usually the hairstyle I see on sad fat girls.
Oh, 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 God, that's gotta sting.
And as a fat girl, I can tell you, I know what that hairstyle looks like. That's why I usually go like a pixie cut or just let my hair grow out because I never look good with that particular hairstyle.
I usually prefer women with long hair. I mean, that's my personal preference, but I just actually, I mean, short hair just,
I
just
prefer
don't.
short hair because it's easy to manage, in my opinion. Not to mention, I use less shampoo when my hair's short.
Eh, yeah, but that's just my preference of this. Hang on, I opened up a can of Dr Pepper here. I swear, freaking SJWs and these types of people just drive me to drink.
Whoa. Pace yourself.
I'm trying, but basically, no amount of freaking caffeine can ever get me through this crap. And like I said, I'm a third generation not drinking Irishman, and caffeine is basically the equivalent of alcohol for me.
I made myself tea. I made myself peppermint tea.
Uh, I mean, yeah, I usually drink coffee, tea, soda, whatever actually contains caffeine in it, because basically it freaking gets me through my day and just try to. It's kind of like a liquid lobotomy.
I don't really drink coffee unless I was up the whole night and I have to be awake during the day.
Ah,
Usually I'll just drink tea if I got it because I was up half the night. Supposedly it's a one shot, but I did a D&D session and my cross-dressing elf Lucid pretty much went up to level 5, and it's like you can't tell me this is a one shot when he's gone up to level 5.
wow.
You can't tell me that because a one shot means they'll be still at level 1, maybe level 2, you know?
Yeah, that is just weird. I mean, I never really got to play freaking any tabletop games, not even D&D, sadly.
Well, I'm going to have to wait a couple weeks to do this cuz I've already invited Ramba to the Discord,
Ah,
and I try to pace myself when asking to invite people because I don't want to be, that person that's annoying,
I don't blame you.
But everyone's been nice to Ramba. They've been giving her tips because she's new to Dungeons and Dragons. Like I told her that she should start with a human because the the only way a human is if you do a human variant has any extra things you got to keep track of. So if she feels like she's not ready to, try and keep track of like how elves would have like a natural charisma or something she can start with a human, then when she's ready she can try like an elf character or something. And I suggested that if she's not ready for spell casting to try like maybe a rogue or a fighter because they don't really have any spells. And then others suggested other classes that do have spells but not a lot if she wants to slowly ease into it.
Yeah, I hear you. Excuse me.
You're excused. And sorry, sorry, we got off the topic. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Besides, I I really don't like watching myself because basically watching and listening to myself is just pure cringe to me. And basically, I just actually had to sit and just like listen to myself during his opening for the video, and then he actually pulled up a picture of myself, and that dude, that was just pure absolute cringe to me. Basically, just people who actually just prefer to actually use other people as like ways of actually trying to get like at at said person.
You ever
It
seen
just
Just a Robot?
yeah,
I
I've actually
I
watched.
always I always love having a thing of popcorn when he does a reply to people complaining about him. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good because it's like you're complaining about a guy whose avatar is a robot.
I actually really like Jar. I mean, I really like his content too, and I always like his robot voice too. I mean, it's actually just really enjoyable. I mean,
I watched his review for the animated Pippi Longstockings, and my only sadness is finding out that Hayao Miyazaki was going to do a version. I'm like, why didn't he? I want to see his version. This is the only animated version we got of Pippi Longstockings. I want to see his version now.
yeah, exactly. And basically, this just really pissed me off that Yakuza Western Killa actually started posting this like this stupid little meme of like Hayao Miyazaki saying that basically anime was a mistake. Dude, that was not a mistake.
Yeah, I didn't understand that because it's like, I mean, okay, I guess if he did say it, it's his opinion, but it's like you kind of made money off of anime by making all these movies and stuff. So,
Yeah, it basically they don't understand that anime actually sells. Basically, also, Anime Night actually says something. I like pizza with pineapples. Disgusting. And anime
yeah.
waifus. Leftists don't leftist. But I like pizza. Leftists don't leftist. Aw, come on, can't we? Leftists don't leftist. You sexist. Leftists don't leftist. Yeah. Basically, for me, freaking, there are like two types of toppings I don't put on pizza, and that is actually olives and pineapple.
Oh, I don't mind olives on my pizza, but I usually I usually prefer to put spinach leaves on my pizza.
Hmm, I'm more of a meat guy myself. Gotta have the meats.
I tried to do turkey on a pizza once, and it's like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick to regular pepperoni.
Yeah, there are certain meats that don't go on pizza, like turkey or chicken or anything like that. Well, actually, chicken is the exception because of the chicken bacon ranch pizza. Oh God, that's good.
Oh, I remember when I still had the Travel Channel. They were
Yeah,
doing various pizza places for a pizza thing episode, and
yeah.
a guy, his restaurant is the traditional pizzas, like cheese, margarita, that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then he had a list of stuff he would never put on his pizza. The classics, the classics being like, the pineapple and stuff. But then he
Uh,
had weird things like rooster egg. I'm like, what the fuck is a rooster egg? Because roosters are the guys.
yeah. That doesn't make sense. Basically, yeah, roosters are males and they don't lay eggs.
I guess I get what he's saying. Nothing weird like, hey, I want boneless chicken wings on my pizza. I guess, but that one thing, it just came out of nowhere. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and I was like, what? Yeah, it's just, it's just, it's just ridiculous. And yeah, basically, I couldn't actually sit through actually watching freaking Yakuza Western Killa's video because basically I just kind of downvoted it and basically as much as I want to freaking report it or anything like that, I mean, I'm actually, gonna say he actually has his own opinions, but I'm just kind of curious how many downvotes he's gonna get before he realizes that basically what he's doing is just completely pointless. Personal opinion.
I'm sorry. Maybe I still wouldn't agree with him, but it's like, if you're not even gonna do the research to make sure you don't look like an idiot, I'm not gonna watch further, because this is what happened with Cinema Sins when I was watching their thing on Everything Wrong with Split, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. And he zoomed in on a diploma for, psychology and stuff, and said, haha, Tulane's not a real school. And I'm like, my younger sister attended Tulane, a school in New Orleans. Oh my God, a quick Google search. That's all I ask, is a quick Google search. If you can't find a school called Tulane, okay, go hog wild. But a quick Google search would say, did you mean Tulane in New Orleans? And then you could have been like, oh, better not say, haha, Tulane's not a real school.
Yeah, and also another thing, I actually hate to correct him on something, but basically, freaking Redo of Healer is not an isekai anime. It's a dark, etchy fantasy anime. Basically, there is nothing isekai about it. The protagonist never actually freaking went to actually do their research because basically, you see, he never died. He never got the protagonist never died and got reincarnated. He never got summoned to that other world. No, he actually had a crap load of stuff that happened to him. And basically, he decided to actually undo all the things that, happened to him and able to actually exact his revenge. You see?
That sounds
But
more like a Peggy Sue trope uh than an isekai. To explain, there was a movie called Peggy Sue Got Married, and the main character ended up back as herself as a child, kind of like 13 again.
yeah.
And that's what the trope's called is Peggy Sue. So, which is used for fan fictions where mostly Harry Potter, where the main character will end up back in themselves at a younger age, and they're trying to prevent stuff in the future from happening. So that sounds more like a dark Peggy Sue, but a Peggy Sue story nonetheless.
And Anime Night actually also says this. The ultimate counter to their BS. Yeah, I totally agree, dude. I totally agree. I mean, basically, I'm using facts and logic here because basically that's the thing that Yakuza Western Killa never did. He never used facts or logic to actually tell me why I'm wrong about this. He just actually just decided to actually just go out on a tangent and just do a tirade against me. That's just wrong.
Well, like example, my friend Emma, she's well known at least on fanfiction.net for her
I use
stories
that bit too. Yeah, I also have
on
a okay.
on fanfiction.net. One of her favorite tropes to use in her stories is reincarnation. So a lot of her stories would be isekai because they're usually characters from one fandom getting reborn in another, or
Huh.
their spirits or whatever helping another character in another thing. Like one story is a One Piece crossover for Gravity Falls, where Mabel ends up getting killed by Bill Cipher and getting reincarnated as Luffy's twin sister. Then she has a more recent one called Valley of the Green Pine, where Dipper and Mabel both die by Bill and become Izuku's older brother in My Hero Academia, brother and sister in My Hero Academia. That's
Ooh,
an
nice.
isekai.
Ooh, yeah. Besides, I actually use fanfiction.net as well, but I actually go by my alter ego, Bloody Demon 666.
Well, if you actually type in Emma Ivelli TV tropes, she has her own page of stories. And
Okay, you're gonna have to actually send me her link to in via the DMs over on Twitter, so that way I can actually find her. I mean, that would be much appreciated. And
okay, I'm gonna use my phone because I don't want to get thrown out the thing again with my iPad.
yeah, I hear you. Besides, anyway, you can actually do that. I'll check it after the stream. All right.
I'll send you her TV tropes page because you should get a link that'll let you go to her page, But it
Yeah.
also gives a list of some of her stories she's done. Like, one of her stories has several characters from several animes getting reincarnated as characters in Harry Potter called Seven Reincarnations. And then there's a One Piece crossover with My Little Pony where various pony characters are the reincarnation of devil fruit users.
Ah. Yeah, that's
Like
pretty interesting.
like if you've seen My Little Pony, you can figure out who Pinkie Pie is.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but basically, My Little Pony is not my cup of tea.
Well, Pinkie Pie can break the fourth wall and she's very elastic, so for that particular story, she's the reincarnation of Luffy.
Yeah, and also I actually heard there's like this really dark story that basically the
Cupcakes.
ponies are actually based off of like six girls that actually died on the same day.
Well, Jesus, Mr. Anime, everything has something like that. I mean, have you seen the thing about Angelica from Rugrats hallucinating everyone except Susie and Dill?
Nope.
Yeah, apparently Angelica couldn't understand the concept of death because apparently Chucky died with his mom, even though his mom died of an illness. If you've watched the show, uh, but they make it seem like she was in a car crash or something. Tommy was a premature, which you see if you see the Mother's Day episode, that his
Hmm.
first memory is seeing his mother while he's in what looks like, the things for babies who are premature. And
Huh.
then, and then apparently she couldn't tell the difference between whether or not the DeVilles, because apparently they got an abortion in this thing, that she didn't know what it would have been, so that's how we got the fraternal twins, Phil and Lil. And then, because she couldn't separate fantasy from reality, she ended up injuring her cousin Dill.
Oh,
And then apparently Susie decided to make the Rugrats show, even though it was a Jewish woman and her Hungarian husband who came up with this, called the Rugrats. So basically, Susie was an opportunistic bitch in this theory.
wow. That is just crazy. But the more you know, right?
Of course, another overused thing is the "it's all a dream" thing. They're in a coma. Starting with Ash Ketchum, in my opinion, but like Finn from Adventure Time. Oh, he's not like one of a one of a small clutch of humans left in an apocalyptic world. He's just a kid in a coma, and his mother is all heartbroken and stuff. And it's like, God damn it! Can a fanciful show just be a fanciful show? Do we really have to try and bring reality into it?
Exactly. I mean, basically, don't there are things that certain things can do, but don't force real world politics into entertainment. I mean, that's why most of these shows and video movies nowadays are freaking flopping here in the West. Why people are flocking to anime and manga, because basically, at least Japan actually cares about its customer base. They actually give good stories, and they don't force real world politics like the West does, like with comic books saying that fans are toxic or we're problematic or we're alt right Yahtzees or
If
we're Instagram.
SJWs had their way, all for one would basically be Orange Man bad.
Oh, and don't even get
Tell me it wouldn't be an XP of Trump if the SJWs had their way with Horikoshi's work. Tell me it wouldn't.
I bet you it would. And basically, I really hope that basically they need to leave Horikoshi alone. Okay, basically, I'm drawing the line on that crap because basically Horikoshi is a great guy and he's actually done so much with his work.
Yeah,
And
yeah, the shippers are getting ridiculous. If you want to do a fan fiction where Kirishima and Katsuki are a couple, fine, you can do that. But it's up to Horikoshi if they're gay or not. If they ain't gay, you leave the man alone because it's his story. And
exactly,
I'm still pissed about the whole birthday thing, saying, "Oh, Katsuki's birthday is the same day as Hitler." And I'm like, "Yeah, and my birthday's the same day as Saddam Hussein's. Doesn't mean I'm gonna be an asshole like Saddam Hussein."
exactly. I mean, basically, it's coincidental. You see, they don't see that, and also don't even get me started on the Murata crap that happened because of how during World War II, like Japanese scientists were actually doing science experiments on
Oh, I see. When it's basically Orange Man bad, it's okay and should be encouraged to have real world stuff in fiction. But the minute it's something that could make a certain country or something look bad, even if the guy was born and raised in that country, suddenly, oh, you're awful. Oh, you're awful.
exactly. But you see, people don't understand to differentiate fiction from reality. I mean, basically, there is a certain line in the sand that should not be crossed ever.
I mean, if you do hard enough research, Every day of the fucking year will have at least one person that was terrible from history born on it. So
Yeah,
that's so that's why I find it stupid people threw a fit about Katsuki being born on the 21st of April.
exactly. And basically, it just kind of irritates me how people always actually have to force like real world politics into like whatever and wherever, so they could actually just say, "Oh, look at that! That's actually representation is something bad." And say, "Oh, that's bad. We need to actually just get rid of it." I mean, basically, Australia banned anime, Russia's banning anime, China's actually going censorship happy, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's this is why we can't have nice things.
1984 was not a how to guide, people.
Exactly. In fact, if it were up to me, I'd actually be the one freaking running around with a sledgehammer, tossing it right into a freaking giant screen.
Oh, the Apple ad.
Yeah,
If you've seen Doug's commercial things, it actually becomes funny when you think about it because Apple has pretty much become that.
yeah, yeah. I'd actually would be running up right up there, and just like freaking tossing the freaking hammer right through the freaking screen, just going, "F you, dudes! F you!"
I mean, the only reason I have an iPad is because this and the last one were gifts from family members, and it's like, well, I didn't have to pay anything for it. I might as well use it.
Yeah, and basically, I just really wanted to actually just get some stuff off my chest, and I really appreciate you actually coming on to my live stream and just just chatting it out with me. And basically, people really need to do their research when it comes to certain situations.
I mean, I don't know what the Japanese people would call it, but with how you described it, it sounds like a Peggy Sue story.
Yeah, and basically, you gotta remember these people do not do research. They don't actually, take the time to actually sit down and watch something and make a valid argument.
Well,
I mean,
considering Sad Fat Betty didn't call it a Chinese cartoon, I have to agree with you. Yeah,
yeah.
he's Sad Fat Betty.
Oh, oh God. Oh God. That is a good one right there. That is a good one. Oh, man. I mean, basically, it is just super sad to actually just see somebody just go down the path of like, the Puritan route. I mean, basically,
You mean the dark side?
yes, the dark side. And basically, I'm still staying the path of the Chad Otaku. In fact, that's why I usually call my fans the Otaku Squad, because basically, you people actually prefer to actually, enjoy life as is. You guys actually enjoy anime, and you don't actually, constantly bitch about it and, you know, start acting like little kids trying to freaking change it or censor it. I'm
Look,
against that crap.
I'll admit if there's an anime that's like doinking kids is a okay, I'll be like, yeah, no, that's a problem.
No,
But if it's someone who happens to look younger than they are, but they are legal, that is okay because people like that exist in real life.
exactly. But don't even get me started on cuties, because basically that is just super disgusting.
I am
I
sorry. If anyone defends cuties, they need to be taken out back and shot because that is a predator's wet dream. You basically made it easy for them because if someone were to question why they watch cuties, they could say, "Oh, well, it's groundbreaking and stuff, and I don't have to dignify anything." It's like, congratulations, you've basically made a porno for sickos. And basically is that because I'm sorry, when you have a little girl, I've watched views and what clips that were shown because I'm like, I don't want to get a virus. Because it seems like if anything on Netflix would give my thing a virus, it would be cuties. Cuties. But they basically say one of the little girls takes a picture of her little thingy down there and puts it on the internet. And I'm like, and you say this is okay for people to watch. What the
Okay,
fuck is wrong with you?
I just cried so hard that my freaking the bottom of my jaw just started freaking locking up, and that is just freaking super cringe.
I feel so bad for the people who had to watch it just so they could do a review of it. Because now they're on a list somewhere, even though they were against it, saying only reason I watch this is to warn y'all so y'all don't watch it.
Yeah, and basically, I really try to avoid that kind of stuff because I prefer watching the only thing I have Netflix for is just watching anime. I mean,
Have
that's
you
practically.
seen B&A yet?
Oh yeah, I've actually seen a few episodes. I still need to get back into watching that.
I
And
binged the whole first season. I'm like, first season two? Why won't you give me season two? God damn it, you got me invested. Where is it?
yeah, basically that's just like the thing. Basically, the shorter the series, the more addicted it gets. Basically, people prefer a short, like anime series. It's just like wanted to like freaking you just binge it, and the next thing you know, you're just looking for another one. But sometimes like the shonens and stuff like that, they just keep going on. You just want to freaking end.
I love One Piece, but at this rate, unless Luffy has not found all of his crewmate yet, they really need him to find One Piece and have an epilogue or whatever it is on how they lived their lives. Like who got together with who? Because you know that people are gonna riot if there's not at least one ship confirmed.
Exactly, and I mean, I used to actually like watching The Walking Dead, but I just actually kind of drifted off after like Carl's death. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I actually and like Rick as well. I mean, I actually have three favorite characters.
I'm gonna
Rick.
say I'm gonna
Okay, go ahead.
say it's kind of ironic because if you read the comics, Judith is the one who dies because the woman, and she gets pissed at the governor about it because she didn't know that Lori had Judith in her arms, and she got pissed and said, "You didn't tell me she had a baby. You made me a baby killer." But in the comics, Judith is crushed by Lori after Lori is shot to death because Lori falls over trying to protect Judith. And, well, being a newborn, a full grown woman is not going to be good for you, you know?
Yeah, and
And Carl lives to be an adult in the comics, whereas they've kind of flipped it where we're probably going to see Judith become an adult if they have a spin off series, you know?
yeah, and basically that's just the thing. You see, it's just ridiculous, and like how like the diff how like for instance, like if you actually read a good manga and like they cut things out from the manga when they do the anime, and it's just like, why the heck do they do that? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, the only reason I stopped watching The Walking Dead is because there's only so many times you can do the whole it's not the dead you gotta fear, it's the living big dictator guy thing.
Yeah,
There's
and
only there's only so many times you can do that before it's like,
yeah,
okay, and I've gotten all I can. Something
yeah.
I would love to see continue is High School of the Dead.
Uh, Sadly, here's the thing. You see, I want to see High School of the Dead continue as well, but here's where here's the real kick in the balls. It turns out that the writer for the series, Daisuke Sato, passed away of a heart attack.
Oh
That's why
no!
Yeah, I found out about that, and I was like, God damn.
Damn, that was one of my favorite animes. And yes, I
I
know
know.
it had a lot of fan service, but let's be honest, considering how most things when it comes to the zombie apocalypse, things like High School of the Dead and Shaun of the Dead are breaths of fresh air because they don't do the serious, gritty, oh, we gotta survive in this world of corpses and corrupt people. And it's like, God damn it. I know the world's bleak now, but you're really gonna tell me there's no lightheartedness now and then?
Exactly, but basically, I mean, I mean, I want to show you something here.
I mean, this is
Check this
why
out.
I like Zombieland.
See it?
Damn.
Yeah, I actually got her for a while back, and I just gotta say, I mean, basically, she's actually basically one of my waifus alongside Shizuka Marakawa and Saya Takagi.
And the thing I like about High School of the Dead, they they actually have someone who knows how to do medicine. And
Exactly,
despite and just yeah, she's a school nurse, but it's better than nothing.
so true.
And despite she seems airheaded, she was actually able to tell you how long, depending on the weather, it would take for a corpse to rot. But like Zombieland, and
Yeah,
they make a good point. Cardio is the best thing to have. That's while I don't think a zombie apocalypse will ever happen in my lifetime. That's why I'm trying to lose weight because if it does happen, I'm gonna be one of the first people taken down, and one of my family members is gonna have to do the tough choice of putting a bullet between my eyes because I'm now this big fat booming thing.
oh yeah, and yeah. Also, I just actually got this on Thursday.
That must be the most popular color because that's the color of mine and that's the color of Luna's.
Yeah, and I mean, basically, I'm sorry, but my uncle actually got this, and basically, if you if you actually want, I could actually. Why don't we actually try swapping friend codes, so
I
that
can
way.
I can see if I can find my friend code, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have the official pay in order to be able to play games online thing.
Yeah. Anyway, I just kind of got mine on Thursday, and I
And
only had like
that pisses me off because it's like all I had to do was put in my Wi-Fi and my 3DS and 2DS, and that was it. I'm pissed at you, Nintendo.
yeah, but at least they don't do the same thing Sony does, and that's actually freaking censor anime games. That freaking pisses me off.
Well,
It's like,
they own Funimation, so what do you expect?
oh, Jesus Christ!
I
Don't
will
even get
never
me
let
started.
that I will never let that Dragon Maid thing go,
Or the
or
fact,
the Ghost Story thing, because I watched a couple of the episodes in the original Japanese, and yeah, it's meant more for like kids around like 9 or 10. But it was certainly a lot more enjoyable looking at it now than the English dub where it's run like a black man's chasing you, and it's like, oh God.
you're cringe. But like I said, it
And
basically
I basically found the only joke I can still laugh at is Vic's joke of now purple for your hair. Yeah, we're not in an anime. And that's the only thing I could still laugh at because it's not dated and it's not like, oh, that's bad by today's standards.
exactly. But that's just the thing. People keep freaking harping on the fact that anime is like the quote unquote evil of the freaking world, and basically they don't understand that there is no correlation between fiction and reality. And basically, Twitter is just, freaking destroying that shit. Pardon my French, but it's just ridiculous.
This is why I feel bad for people who have to play villains in movies and TV shows. The guy who played Joffrey kept getting hate every time, and I'm like, don't do this to this poor guy. He was playing a character. Believe me, he's not some little asshole who's like, well, I don't care. I don't care if my mother made a promise or not. I'm gonna lob your father's head off. He's not that person.
Oh no, 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 no. Basically, I'm not beyond giving anybody. Basically, no one should give death threats to anybody they don't like, and that I will not condone that ever.
No, these were people who seem to forget that Joffrey's not real. The actor who plays Joffrey is. There,
Exactly.
and you would think it'd be like little kids, though. You got to question who's letting their kids watch Game of Thrones. But my point is, you think it'd be little kids who are too young to realize the difference, But no, it's full grown ass people yelling at a teenager, or at the time he was a teenager, and it's like, oh my god. Is this why they made Maleficent a wooby in her movie? Just so people wouldn't yell at Angelina or something? Is that why she was made a wooby good person?
Yo, Pirate Canvas, what's up? In fact, Pirate Canvas just actually popped in and said hey, and now he's gone.
Yeah, that's what happened with the one shot yesterday. The one shot only happened because one, the dungeon master wanted to try roll 20 to see how it worked. And two, the other dungeon master that was going to do his thing needed to unwind, so we did that. But everyone else is like, well, if we're not doing this particular campaign, we're going to leave. So basically the me and two other people who stayed, technically three if you include the dungeon master, were the only ones in the party. And while the dungeon master decided to say we were knocked out, it was so freaking embarrassing, but we got wiped out by rats, giant rats, the kind you would see in Princess Bride, because there was only three of us. Had we had at least one more, if not more, we'd have stood a chance. But because it was just the three of us, we got killed by rats, and that was an embarrassing way to die. It's like, God damn it, couldn't we have been wiped out by a dragon? At least in that case, it's like, well, it is a dragon. Dragon, you're lucky if you can even get a hit on it. But no, it's rats. We were killed by rats. The DM's like, well, you were supposed to win this, but unfortunately, since there was only three of you, we're going to say you were knocked out, not killed. And our teacher ended, because our characters were supposed to be students to an elf that was in her 800s and still had like at least 100 more years to go before dying. But because of that, our teacher ended up dying.
Oh God. But yeah, anyway, Pirate Canvas said he just woke up and he was asking what's going on. Well, PC, I gotta say, we were actually, discussing different types of topics, and basically, I was actually doing like a freaking what do I want to say there, a little bit of a follow up to one of Yakuza Western Killa's videos,
The
saying
difference
that
between an Isekai and a Peggy Sue.
yeah, I'm doing fine, man. It's just basically I'm freaking just infuriated that a former friend of mine actually decided to backstab me and actually say that basically the reason why I am defending Redo of Healer is because basically it's a fictional anime that is not an isekai. It's not like it's just a dark edgy anime that actually just really
Again,
kind of
again,
it's like
I don't know what the Japanese term would be for it. since I know isekai is for people like example sort Rising of the Shield Hero, where you're taken from one world to another, or in the case of that one time I got reincarnated as a slime, reincarnated into another world, is an isekai. But what it, until I get the actual Japanese term for it, what what Mr. Anime described sounds like a Peggy Sue, which the TV trope is called Peggy Sue because it's based off a movie called Peggy Sue Got Married, where the main character Peggy Sue gets sent back to when she was younger, and she has this knowledge, so she tries to fix everything. Same thing happens in 13 again.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing, and also former friend, yeah, Pirate Canvas. Basically, we kind of actually took a stance with the whole Uzaki-chan like bullcrap that's been going on, and basically, I started watching Redo a Healer, and basically, I've been getting into it. I mean, yeah, I do like dark, edgy stuff and stuff like that. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but for me, it's mine. But I actually also have other friends that actually like watching Redo of Healer as much as I do. And basically, I usually do like every time a new video comes out, I'll actually give my thoughts and like about the anime and like that particular episode and like how I felt about it and try to actually use facts and logic unlike what he did. He actually pretty much decided to actually do this like freaking little sleazy attack video against me like an I does like or a Gokunara video where he just had to go and it deals with murder, children murdering each other.
Sad Fat Betty isn't a nice guy, is he?
No, he isn't. I mean, he was once upon a time, but now he's just really just gone straight off the deep end. And basically, yeah, I also
No, when
watched
I
him.
say nice guy, I mean like those guys who will be like, "Why won't you date me? I'm a nice guy." That nice guy.
Yeah, and basically, you know, it's like what Otaku Daikun said, like about being about us anime fans being called three things, incels, neckbeards, nice guys. And yeah, and basically, Higurashi, Elfen Lied, they're both good anime. I mean, I actually like watching both Elfen Lied, and I actually own the original like Higurashi, and that is just like freaking messed up.
I watched some of Elfin Lead, but I had to stop when the girl who was wearing the necktie as like a hair thing to hide her horns got hurt badly. I'm like, okay, I can. She was such a sweet girl. She didn't deserve that. That was where I had to stop because I don't like kids getting hurt.
Yeah, and basically, like I said, not all anime are for everyone. It's just it acquires a certain taste like Redo of Healer because
The only
basically,
reason the only reason I'm able to watch shows like DBZ where children can get hurt is because they usually show the kids, training to try and get stronger. In
is it
in shows like Elfin Lead, those kids tend to stay hurt pretty bad or dead.
exactly. And also another one that actually is like it kind of was a little bit like a little bit of a romance anime, but my good friend Pirate Canvas did a video of this, but it got really dark at the end though. Is School Days?
I've vaguely heard about School Days, but I haven't been able to watch it because I haven't been able to find much information to see if whether I would want to watch it.
Yeah, I hear you there. And Rin daughters, and this one it actually says it the daughters of Nemesis, it deals with rape and it's violent as F. Wow. I mean, basically, yeah. I usually do enjoy like dark stories and stuff like that that actually kind of incorporates like and basically, and also I had to agree with like SG Sammy, of course, when he says that we need more like anime like redo of Healer. I mean, basically, I prefer the dark stuff because I'm a fan of it, and I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but here's the thing: people don't understand that not everything is going to be made for everyone. You can only please certain people of a crowd and have that niche over trying to get crumbs over like as like Omega Katana would say. He'd actually say that's actually freaking chasing after the phantom audience.
Oh, you mean the people who complain but they don't buy anything?
Exactly, exactly.
Meanwhile, I basically bought the child from the Mandalorian because from what I could see, I loved the show and the child is adorable, so I bought that. Meanwhile, the only reason I have a Rey action figure is because my father, God bless his soul, his heart was in the right place since I'm a Star Wars fan, bought me a Rey action figure because it's Star Wars media when he was at Walmart one day. But the only reason I don't throw it out is because, again, God bless my father. His heart was in the right place. He was thinking of the fact that I love Star Wars. And that's why I haven't been able to throw it away because I don't want to hurt his feelings. I may throw it away after he's passed, but until then, it sits in my closet, hidden. My secret shame.
Yeah, and Pirate Canvas says I plan to review dark and edgy stuff, and more power to you there, PC. I mean, basically, I would love to actually see you do like dark and edgy stuff reviews. I mean, heck, if it actually gets you more followers on freaking YouTube or anything like that, and basically, I actually wish you the best of luck, and basically, I'll actually support you no matter what, man. We
I
we we true
there
friends need to stick together. Go ahead.
I don't know if he still has a YouTube account anymore, but there was this guy I followed a couple years back called Goku Fivel, and basically he's a Don Blue fan as well as an anime fan. And for a couple of years, he did things for Mother's Day of world's greatest anime or animated moms, and then the worst, and then he did Father's Day, and one of his Father's Day ones, you had Vegeta and the dad from Evangelion on the in the top three, but number one basically disowned his daughter because she didn't want to just sleep with a guy who had a lot of money because she had respect for herself, so he disowned her and made her a maid.
Wow.
And he did a joke where the dad from Evangelion and Vegeta are like, holy shit, that's a bad dad. and and the dad from Evangelion gets still an asshole dad, but slightly better than this guy mug. And then Vegeta got one too, and Trunks says, hey dad, can I see that mug? My mug. Smack.
Wow.
and and while I know it's a joke, it does kind of seem like, damn, even Vegeta has standards when it comes to his daughter Bulla.
Yeah, and basically, I just really want to actually just say, basically, sometimes you need like some of the bad characters in there just to actually spice up the story a little bit. I mean, basically, I've actually been working on like this fan fiction where like it's like talking about like a dystopian story, like if anime was actually deemed illegal, not just here in the U.S. but all over the world. But I'm actually starting to think that this is slowly becoming more and more of a true story, though.
Oh God, you're a prophet. Run, everybody, run. He'll predict your death.
Nah, it's not that. It's just that basically I kind of did this as like a question that I actually saw on freaking Facebook once, which read, "What would you do if anime was actually deemed illegal?" And like I actually decided to actually do this story called now the story. Now the name of my story is called Anarchy of Anime. Basically, but here's the thing: it turns out that humans and anime characters live in a coexistence with each other,
Kind
and
of like Who
basically,
Framed Roger Rabbit.
yeah, like that. I mean, I love
I
that
I've
movie.
actually I've actually had ideas of what a possible fan fiction for modern day of Who Framed Roger Rabbit would be, and my friend Emma, before she had to move from San Francisco to not Sorrento, Sacramento, after her mom died, used to go to this place called Little Japan, which is
Ah,
what you would think it is. And I'm like, well, if we, considering Toontown is supposed to be a stand in for people of color back then, we could equate something similar to Little Japan for anime characters. And I thought, what if Frieza was actually a woman just because his voice is always feminine sounding and stuff? But but she just plays a guy because they needed someone who was lithe and thin and stuff. And she says, I can play a guy. No one would know the difference because a lot of us sound like women. Hell, the guy you got for the hero sounds like a woman. Original Japanese and stuff.
yeah.
And 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 or it could be said during World War II too, and there's a lot of animosity against the Japanese anime characters because they originate from Japan and stuff.
Also, that's another thing that really freaking irked me is like when Hirohei covered this about like this woman who actually made like this hot take on her birthday, saying a freaking oh okay god, it's actually freaking pissed me off so much. She said that basically Japanese anime is actually just nothing more than Imperial Japanese apologia, and that she was actually going to mute the freaking quote so that way she won't actually get any backlash while she was getting drunk and watching Shira.
I'm guessing reboot Shira.
Yeah, reboot Shira. That,
Look,
that
look, I'm gonna be honest. I found some things adorable in reboot Shira. Like I do find the Scorpia perfume thing kind of adorable, but I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Adora and Katra's relationship because it reminds me too much of fucking Joker and Harley Quinn, and this is something I actually do with Harley Quinn cosplayers, knowing that they're cosplayers, but this is as close as I'm gonna get to talking to the actual character and saying you could do so much better than Joker. Find
oh,
a find a decent man. Find a decent woman. Just don't go back to Joker. Cause this is as close as I'm gonna get to tell the character to please, for your health, don't go back to him.
yeah. In fact, Alex Kogan actually brings up a really good point. Recreators is an anime with that fictional characters and reality premise. That's another thing. That's another anime I want to check out sometime if I can.
I'm actually doing a show Bible, which is rough draft drawings of characters for a show I want to do, but I want to get the Bible done first
Huh.
before trying to pitch it. But basically, it's kind of that only with old school cartoons akin to old school Mickey Mouse cartoons and stuff. Black and white rubber hose. Ex-
Yeah.
except except original characters, because if you try to use actual characters you then got to pay copyright and hope people agree, and it's just a hassle.
Oh yeah. That's just the
But
thing.
I mean, it could also count as an isekai too, because the main character, who's a normal human, I haven't gotten into around to trying to do a rough draft of her design yet, but she ends up in the world called full of tunes, but there are various parts, like you have Toonberg, which is where from the from like the early 20s all the way to modern day Western cartoons tunes. Then you have a city called CG City for the CGI stuff. And then there's an island in the ocean near Toonberg called Annie Bay
Oh wow!
for the anime characters. Yeah. Yeah, but the main character in my story, she ends up basically almost dying because she falls and hurts herself bad. So one of the characters named Stella Snaps, who's an homage to Betty Boop, basically gives some of her ink blood to help the main character. I'm still deciding on a name for the main character. And the main character ends up becoming a tune, but she's told by a doctor that if you can find a way back home, you should be able to return back to normal. You might cough up ink for a couple days, but you should be fine after a couple days. This was just to save your life. However, if you don't find a way back, you're going to be a tune permanently.
Wow. Yeah. Also, another movie that I've actually known that actually has like live action with the animation styles is Cool World.
Well, the main character is also going to be animated because I want it to be a
Ah,
but the problem is she and the other normal humans, or the realisms as the tunes call them, the realists, whatever you want to call them, are going to be Cal art style because I'm not good at drawing realistic, unfortunately.
ah. And also, Alex actually brings up another one. Shimane is another anti-censorship anime. Pretty funny. Yeah, I've actually seen some of that as well. And basically, I do gotta say that basically this is why I actually prefer like the old school stuff before like freaking prison school. My girlfriend is a gal. Freaking Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Just kind of went freaking downhill from there. And they actually started.
Yu Yu Hakusho had a scene with a transgendered person. And while I am someone who's like, look, it's a product of its time. We know not to do stuff like this. You always get that person that's like, this is slander to trans people. And it's like, it's from the 90s. We know not to
Exactly.
do this kind of crap anymore. I hate these people because they refuse to understand that as long as it's not being done now, we've learned. But no, apparently something from the past, like Sunflower the Centaur from Fantasia, is still problematic if we remember she exists.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
But I actually, when I was a teenager, because there were a lot of parents I knew that didn't like anime because they felt it was too violent. So I had an idea of a superhero called Super Fangirl, and she would wear cosplay stuff and fight against a woman who wanted to get rid of anime May, just so she could suck the life and imagination out of the youth so that she could keep herself young, and she
Oh,
always fight and stuff. I'm kind of tempted to try and bring her back as an idea now, just for the thing of you can't censor art. Art, you are no better than anyone who would deface the Mona Lisa. I
hang
even
on.
did it. I even did a thing with the Venus de Milo where it was an MS Paint bra, but it was to make my point known. Where I did an MS Paint bra on a picture of the Venus de Milo, and I said, censoring anime is like putting a bra on the Venus de Milo. You missed the point of the art.
Exactly. You see, freaking what do I want to say there? One of it's just freaking it's redundant. I mean, it's sort of like when Viz Media actually decided to actually did like this page where this woman was actually showing her bare chest, and like she wasn't wearing a bra or anything, but like in another page they actually had her covered up with a bra and everything. That's just freaking blatantly stupid, if you ask me. That's basically slapping the mangaka in the face, saying that basically this is just not how it's done.
Well, well, you know those "Am I the asshole" things on Reddit.
Oh, don't even get me started on freaking Reddit. That
Well,
site is just fucking messed up.
well, I watch "Am I the asshole" videos on YouTube because I don't want to deal with the headache of making an account for Reddit. And this girl got one of her stories.
Give me a second.
This girl was posting the story got one of her soul pieces taken by her little cousin, and her aunt threw a fit because it was one of the mangas with the cat demon girl, being the cat demon girl. The one that the main characters mistook for a witch, but she wasn't. Well, the aunt, the girl's aunt got pissy and said, "I can't believe you let my son
Hey
read this.
guys.
I can't believe you let my
Hey,
son read this filth." And it's like, your son stole my manga even after I told him it wasn't meant for children his age. And it's like, you can't blame her if your son took something that was not meant for his age group.
yo, 8-bit Shinobi, what's up?
They're a
Oh,
rating
not
for a
much.
reason.
Just busy working on my event.
I hear you
Oh,
there.
yeah, you're making games and stuff, aren't you? Because I think I'm signed up to your newsletter or something.
Yes, we're doing a virtual event. And we're doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, I was actually just telling D&D girl here all about like our issues with like a certain YouTuber by the name of Yakuza Western Killa. He decided to actually do like an attack video on me, trying
Or
to call me
Sad
out.
Fat Betty, as I call him.
Yeah. Basically, it just freaking just pissed me off that I called him my friend, and yet he freaking backstabbed me, and he
Et
just
tu,
actually.
Brutus?
And basically, all I was doing
Mhm.
was actually, defending creative freedom on, redo of Healer. Now, I've been watching the anime. I mean, I still defend it no matter what. I mean, I prefer the uncensored version of it. I mean, it's dark and edgy and stuff like that. But here's the thing: people don't understand that they don't do research. I mean, basically, if you're gonna do like a counter to me, at least do some research.
The fact that Sad Fat Betty called it a Chinese cartoon was enough for me to be like, okay, I've reached my limit.
In fact, it's not Chinese. In fact, anime is Japanese. Japanese.
That's why I reached my limit, because I'm sorry, if you can't even get the country that the art form is from right, you're obviously going to be stupid throughout the whole video.
I mean, basically, that's just my thing. At least, here on the live stream, I'm actually countering it with facts, logic, and evidence. And basically, I actually have good friends who actually know that actually have my back.
Also, apparently, Sad Fat Betty, yes, I'm going to keep calling him that, does not know what an isekai is. Do you know what the TV trope Peggy Sue is, Shinobi?
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, I'm sorry you gotta keep hearing this over and over again, Mr. Anime.
No, 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 no. It's all right. Besides, we actually have someone new. I mean, basically, it's best to actually have something repeated so that way, it can actually be drilled right in. For me, of
Well,
course.
the trope got its name because the very first known piece of media to use this was called Peggy Sue Got Married, and it's about this woman who gets sent back when she's younger So she tries to change everything, and that's how the trope became known as Peggy Sue. And usually it's used for any piece of fiction, be it fan or otherwise, where a character gets sent back to into their younger selves. Mostly used in Harry Potter because let's be honest, Harry Potter had a fucking messed up life.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure.
he is basically the poster child for this trope at this point. But any character can have that done to them if it's to try and prevent something bad from happening in the future. Whereas an isekai is someone getting sent to another world. Example, Rising of the Shield Hero, or is reincarnated after death. Example, that one time I got reincarnated as a slime. What While it probably could be considered an isekai, it's not really an isekai because technically the character is still in the same world. They were just sent back in time to a to their younger form. They are inhabiting their younger form. So let's say, for example, we're not in reality; we're in a made-up world or something, and something happened for me to get sent back to my body when I was like 6 or 7 years old in first or second grade. I would have the knowledge to know to eat better, exercise, don't gain weight, and to definitely punch any bullies that come near me in the face instead of just taking the beatings and still getting punished for it despite not fighting. That's basically something I'm going to tell any kids if I ever have them. if if some little shit starts crap with you, you punch them back because you're gonna get punished no matter what. And if my kid doesn't fight back and they still get punished, I'm gonna say, punch that kid in the face. And if everyone's like, oh, don't encourage that, I'm like, why? He's still getting punished anyway. He might as well have a reason to be punished. And they can think I'm awful, but I'm gonna be like, you're not making my kid a liar. If my kid's getting punished, he's gonna have a reason to be punished. Not this, oh well, he was in a fight even though he let this kid hit him because he was taught that he shouldn't fight back. And it's like, if he's gonna get punished despite not fighting back, I'm making sure my kid deserves to be punished. So kid gets punched in the face, hopefully never messes with my kid again, and my kid thus now deserves to get detention or suspension or whatever it is. You ain't making my kid a liar. I'm sorry, you ain't making my kid a liar.
Exactly. But here's the thing. You see, if you actually have proof and evidence of actually what you're trying to back up, I mean, unlike Yakuza Western Killa here, in this case, he actually just doesn't actually use the thing that actually separates us from other people, and that's actually the thing between our ears
Google.
called the human brain.
I
Basically,
Well, I
go ahead.
suppose you need the human brain in order to know that Google is your friend. Google will make sure you don't, I mean, don't use Google if you're trying to figure out why you're sick because it'll say you have cancer. But Google is your friend. Google will let you know if a school exists or not. I'm still pissed at CinemaSins for that Tulane thing because my sister went to Tulane. A quick Google search. A quick Google search. And then the people were like, oh, I'm sure he was joking. And I'm like, yeah, no. Tulane is one of those schools like Harvard that is hard to get into. The fact my younger sister got into it is amazing.
Yeah, I know the feeling, like people are just ignorant and they just want to try to spin things, create drama because they know that you have a following. Like I remember I was defending my friend Spirit Jr. and I was calling out Jamie Marchi, and I was showing screenshots, and I said, by her definition of what she did, she was racist because she calls out someone for doing something that's not really racist, and then she attacks my buddy, and then I said, by her definition, they're like, no, 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 that's not true, that's not true, she never said that, and then I provided screenshots, and then they still kept running with it. I'm like,
They didn't say it was Photoshop,
and
did they?
I'm done with this.
They didn't say it was Photoshop, did they?
No, they just kept on. They just like ignored the screenshots and just kept running with it. And I'm like, I'm providing you physical proof.
Yeah, well, think of it this way. At least there's proof they're idiots now because you provided proof that Jamie Marchi did this and they're ignoring it. So everyone who has half a brain's like, wow, this guy is stupid. Oh, and I will never forgive Jamie Marchi ever after that school shooting joke. I will never forgive her for that because my older sister is a school teacher. And while my eldest niece is close to graduating in a year or two and probably going to college, she's still in school right now, along with her younger siblings. And then there's my nephew, my brother's kid who has just started school a year or two ago, and I don't find it funny. I am petrified every day I'm going to see on the local news that the school my sister works at got shot up. I do not like worrying, damn it. And making that joke is the reason why I don't care if I end up going to jail for the night and possibly getting sued for assault. I am going to throat punch Jamie Marchi and for that.
Yeah, and
But
here's the thing. Basically, don't e- and basically, like I will never forgive Jamie Markin for some of the shit that she said, or like Monica Rial, because basically she lied about, freaking all the shit that she was saying about like Vic Mignogna, along with freaking Ron Toye.
Yeah,
Basically,
I'm reluctant to insult Monica because after the information about what Ron did to his exes came out, it's like, well, I would feel awful if it turns out Monica was being abused and I basically tore her a new one when she needed help. As soon as she drops Ron and she still keeps doing this crap, I will definitely tear her a new one. But until then, I can't bring myself to do it because I would hate myself if it turned out she was being abused.
yeah, that's just the thing. You gotta actually have um factual evidence to actually back up what you're saying. Because basically, you know, Ron was saying that there's at least 200 women
Last
against
I last I heard, it was 300 women, and it's like, wow, Ron the delusional. I mean, Jesus, I know Vic's hot, but I didn't know he had the stamina to do 300 women.
Basically, they're trying to actually make Vic the next Harvey Weinstein.
All they're doing is making themselves look like fools,
and
and
most of the witnesses that they're bringing are their friends that lived with them. That's kind of fishy. Like,
or or the or the supposed victims they bring up are their photos, and these people are like, stop using my photos, I asked them for a hug, you assholes.
Exactly, but do like any of these kick Vic morons ever listen? No, they do not, because basically, to them, they're just actually relying on one particular thing:
To be
outrage.
honest, the saner bunch of Kick Vic have pretty much become neutral or joined I Stand with Vic because the idiots like BT have gone too far, especially when it comes to them telling victims that they obviously weren't abused because they don't agree with them. And it's like, wow, wow, if my mother were still alive, she'd probably be very upset considering what her uncle did to her when she was 13.
Basically, they actually give like actual victims a bad name. Like, I feel bad for the actual victims of like sexual assault and stuff like that, and like I just actually feel bad because basically I was actually a victim of child abuse from
Yeah,
back when I was about 4 years old.
yeah,
By a,
that pisses me off. Like the people still defending Amber Heard. I'm like, you know, you make it harder for actual female victims to come forward because everyone's gonna think Amber Heard the minute someone says my husband's been beating me. The minute someone says that, it's like, well, how do we know you're not like Amber Heard?
Yeah, the same
See,
thing happened to my dad. Like my sister, my mother is basically, if you twist her arm, she'll do anything that you say, and that's basically what my sister did. And she got her to say that my dad beat her and stuff. And then when she wouldn't play along anymore, she's like, I can't do this anymore. She committed fraud and phoned the police pretending to be my mother. And I put it out there. So I'm hoping to God that there's justice done someday.
exactly, and basically that's what we're fighting for with I Stand with Vic, is that due justice actually prevails, and we get Vic the justice he deserves instead of like having all these like and we're still waiting on the appeals from the appeals court.
also, unlike the people accusing Vic, there's proof that Amber Heard is the abuser.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
I'm getting annoyed with people saying, "Oh, Johnny lost. Did you see the thing?" I'm like, that was him suing the son for libel. That is not the thing for the abuse, you dumbass. And that fucking thing was rigged because the judge's son worked for the son. That thing was rigged.
That's actually how due justice is done nowadays. It's always rigged against you, and basically, no matter how much money you spend, I mean, basically, why are we even paying judges these days? Because basically, they're actually just going to throw the case out with the bathwater. That's just my personal opinion on that.
I'm just hoping Amber Heard ends up in prison and becomes Big Bertha's prison bitch. I bet you a few good beatings from Big Bertha, Amber would realize maybe I shouldn't have lied about my ex beating me. Cause he never did this kind of shit to me.
Oh man.
Well, I really think there needs to be some sort of justice reform because it's like I remember what Ty said in an interview is the justice system basically keeps all of us in line from going out and seeking our own justice. So if the justice system's corrupt, people are just going to go out on the street, buy themselves a gun or whatever kind of weapon, and then go after and get their own justice.
I'm Batman.
Exactly. But basically, and also another thing that really freaking aggravated me was my favorite comic book vigilante is the Punisher. And basically, they're actually saying that the Punisher skull, which was actually used during the freaking, what do I say, the Capitol raid that actually happened like earlier in the month, dude, that was just stupid. But at the same time, this is what happens when you don't listen to the voices of the American people.
Basically, it's become the next swastika. The origin
Yeah,
the original meaning behind it has been lost because idiots refuse to do the research.
exactly. And basically, here's the thing. You see, it's actually the swastika before World War II was actually used as a symbol of like Asian Buddhism, and basically people just they just actually see a swastika somewhere, like not like like the World War II Nazis use, like the Germans, but
Oh, but
instead,
it's close enough, so obviously it must mean Nazis. And it's like, no, you idiot. Do some research. We got the
it,
internet. It's not that hard.
it, correct. Besides,
This
at
ain't
least
like during the 70s where where the best you could do is hope you found a book about Asian Buddhism. No, we have the internet. Like if I want to find out why there's a dead Pakistani on my couch, I can Google it. That's actually a thing. If you put in why is there, that's one of the choices you can get.
I think the real problem here is that people are just narrow-minded. They see one thing, they're like, okay, that's what I'm gonna base my stuff on, even if it's not true. And they're not gonna, like, if someone comes up with their own facts, they're like, no, these are my facts, and I don't care about yours. We got, like, even me, I make mistakes sometimes, and I will admit that. I'm like, oh, I was wrong about that. Okay, now I know better.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
like example, I said that Disney casting Johnny Depp as Tonto in the Lone Ranger movie was a bad idea. And I ended up finding out that Johnny Depp is actually a percentage Native American or indigenous people, whichever you prefer.
I prefer
And I'm like,
American.
really? And I was told, yeah. And I'm like, huh, my bad. I didn't know that. I admitted I was wrong, but that was because I didn't know.
Yeah, and here's the thing that really freaking aggravates me. I live in Maine, and basically, here's the thing. Instead of calling Columbus Day, we call it Indigenous Peoples Day, which I kind of find is completely stupid.
Oh, do you remember the thing for Thanksgiving on Twitter?
Oh, God.
I
Or,
I actually asked someone for some books because they said they were Native American or again indigenous person, whichever you prefer. Because I would love to learn about their culture, and I got called a simp or something because I was like, could you suggest some books? I would love to read that. Like, I just wanted to know about some books I could read. I'm sorry, I would love to learn about someone's culture, unlike you, Mister Oh, it's racist if a black if a if a black character isn't played by a black person. I will not let the thing about Soul go either. Because I am sorry, that is just plain stupid that you're gonna bust Japan's balls because they don't cast a black person to play the main character and all the other characters that are of color. Because it's like, have you seen Japan? Outside of tourists, they don't have a lot of people of color, and I mean of dark color.
exactly. But, also another thing that really freaking aggravated me is like how people always say that, having a white person actually doing a POC character, like a fictional POC character, that's
Missy.
what really, yeah, Missy, Diane from BoJack Horseman. She's actually Vietnamese American, and
Which
she's actually
again with Missy, that I don't get it because she has a white mother. So shouldn't that be a case of whoever does the best job should be the one to voice Missy?
exactly. I mean, basically, these people just rely on outrage, and mass hysteria. Basically, whatever actually, makes them like the center of attention, like for them, they gotta be the center of attention for everything.
But
Like everything.
guaranteed, I guarantee if they did a reboot of Inspector Gadget, they'd still get Cree Summer to play Penny Gadget.
Oh man, I would just love to actually. I mean, I really like
Because
Creek.
rule for thee, not for me.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, oh man, I should
I
actually
love
just sit
Phil
back.
Lamar though. I love Phil Lamar though, because people tried to drag him into that. And he's like, "Leave me the fuck alone. Shut up about this. I'm only able to get work because I'm able to play outside my race. You keep this shit up, people are gonna be like, sorry, we don't have any black characters for you to play." He's like,
Exactly,
"Don't do this. You're gonna make it hard for me to get work if you do this because eventually people are gonna be like, well, we gotta be fair, and we don't have any black characters. Maybe season 2 we'll have a black male character for you to play."
Yeah, and basically, here's the thing. You see, it should be based on merit. I mean, look at like Mike Henry, aka Cleveland Brown from the Cleveland Show or Family Guy. Basically, he was a white dude, but he actually did the part of Cleveland really, really great. I mean, I really have to give the guy, the current like incarnation of Cleveland credit because basically, I actually saw some of like his Resident Evil 7 videos where he's playing Resident Evil as Cleveland. Oh man, that was just super hilarious.
Hmm.
You know what I also find about these outrage people is that they're like the biggest hypocrites. I,
How about the comedian who complained about Apu from The Simpsons?
oh my
Oh,
god,
But yet he has so many jokes about Trump. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Trump fan, but it's like, you might not want to be complaining about Apu when you make jokes about Trump and white people.
exactly, exactly. And basically, this is actually just what I want to say there.
And then no one wants to take into account that if you looked at Apu's backstory, he was born and raised in India, so it makes sense he would have an accent. It's not like he's like a third generation Indian American, where
Exactly.
where he should basically have the grasp of the English language. If it were that case, I'd be like, yeah, that seems kind of racist, but he's a first generation. So of course he's going to have an accent. His children, however, are the ones you'd have to worry about being stereotypical because they were born and raised in America.
Exactly. And basically as the generations go, I mean, they actually, like let's say that, you actually have like Irish parents and they actually immigrate here to America and then like you were born as, an Irish American and then you actually start actually having an American accent outside of your like parents' Irish accents that they actually have.
Well, that's because most of the time you're going to be around mostly
American
of,
people.
yeah, especially if you were born and raised in America because your parents aren't going to be the ones teach you in school and stuff unless you're homeschooled, but we're ignoring that.
Exactly.
I can attest to that. My dad's from Trinidad, and they have a really strong Caribbean accent. Unlike everyone else, my dad and my grandmother can turn it on and off, but I don't have that. I can like try it, attempt to speak Caribbean mon, but it's not like my dad.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
recently I watched r/slash facepalm, and someone said white people should not speak Spanish, and someone said, "Can I introduce you to the whole country of Spain?" And that's why I have to say Spain when I say I have some Spain in me somewhere, because if I say Spanish, I'll get someone saying, "Oh, I don't believe you're Mexican," or "Wow, you have Mexican blood," and it's like, "Oh, I hate you people. Oh, I hate you people."
yeah. In fact, actually, what I would usually say is Spaniard.
I'll have to remember that, but it's like you'd think someone would think, "Oh wait, Spanish, Spain." Nope, they all instantly assume Mexico.
or Latino or I'm not gonna say the other one because I really don't want to
I
actually offend
actually
anybody.
I don't know if you saw that girl, she said she was Latinx, and I forget what she was telling white people not to do, but when she said she's Latinx, someone said, "Wow, I found a Latino that actually uses Latinx." I'm like, and I tweeted, "Are we sure she's a Latino? Because most of the Latino people I know hate that term, and that's my most popular thing on that thread."
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing: people, it's actually a case of rules for thee, but not for me.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it was about anime or something. like how white people aren't allowed to enjoy it, and the and someone asked her, are you Japanese or something? And she says, I'm Latinx. And it's like, so not are you only are you not Japanese, you're not even pale.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. Basically, I actually not only do I actually enjoy anime, I also enjoy the Japanese culture. Of course, even though I'm actually like,
I
mixed
love
blood.
several cultures,
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
it annoys me that these people will ignore the people of those cultures who say, we actually like when people take an interest in our culture because it means it's not, at least for this generation, it's not going to die out.
Yeah, I remember
Exactly.
an article. Some mother did like a Japanese themed tea party and had the daughter
Oh, I
dress.
remember that someone said she obviously likes the Japanese culture, and then the person says, unless you're Japanese, and they say, I'm Japanese from Japan. And then it goes further because they say, yeah, anyone can say that. And then you see a picture of the Japanese person holding up their Japanese passport.
Oh, burn.
Like you were saying,
I mean, basically, people need to learn to actually stop, telling other people what to do or what to enjoy or what not to enjoy.
I've
But you
basically
see,
I've basically gotten to at Christmas time and Halloween, anyone who tries to do that, you're appropriating like Japanese culture or something. I say, okay, you're not allowed to celebrate Halloween or Christmas unless you're pagan, because those holidays were done by early Christians to convert pagans to Christianity. By you celebrating it, you're appropriating pagan lore.
exactly. But
And I always get blocked or called stupid. And I'm like, have you ever looked up pagan? You'll know. Basically, a thing of search. You know I'm right.
exactly. You see, people don't do research. They don't, you know. This is just my tip to everybody out there. Do
Samhain
your
and
research
Yule. That's what they would be
before.
called. Samhain
What's up?
and Yule.
Selling
Halloween would be called Samhain, and Yule would be called, and Christmas would be called Yule.
Solid and Yule. Okay,
Yeah,
got it. Okay, Selling and Yule. Selling and Yule. Okay, so Selling is Halloween and Yule is Christmas.
yeah,
Got it. Like Yuletide log.
yeah. The only reason they became what they are now is because early Christians were trying to convert the pagans. And as I've told you about Irish history, those who refused to convert were killed. But the early Christians coming to Europe said, "Hey, our Savior was probably born on this day, so you got to celebrate his birthday instead of your drunken debauchery."
Yeah, and basically, that's just the thing. I mean, this is coming from a third generation Irishman, and basically, I actually do like celebrating St. Patty's, and basically, sometimes it's hard for me to actually wear green so I don't get pinched.
I actually have a hat that my dad got me when I was a kid, cuz oh because I was bullied. St. Patrick's Day was that day kids love to have a loophole to pinch. So my dad got me a hat that had Ireland with the flag on it, and it's solid green.
Talk
And I
about
still and I still have it because I'm proud of my Irish roots as well as my French roots and other roots that were discovered. I discovered I was British recently when my brother told me he took a 23andMe and found out that we originate from Britain. I knew we also originated from Wales on my father's side because apparently we have a Welsh family crest.
huh, pretty cool.
And the Spaniard's pretty small, so like maybe one woman or something married into whichever side of my family, and that was about it.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, it's always fun to actually have variety of there's like different like races and nationalities. Basically, there's an old saying: variety is the spice of life.
How about we use breeds of dog? I used to have a dachshund. We had to put him down, unfortunately, because the neighbor's pit bull got a hold of him. But dachshunds tend to have back problems because they've been bred to be the way they are, which is long little
Ah,
dogs. So they're prone to back problems because a healthy dog is not supposed to be like a hot dog. You get me?
yeah, I hear you. Besides,
And if you look at dog breeds like English bulldogs and pugs, they have breathing problems because their faces are squashed in. However, vets swear by the fact that if you have a mutt, even if it's two different breeds, they tend to be healthier because instead of inbreeding to make them look a certain way, they're two different breeds of dog. Basically, you don't want to if unless you want your breed to eventually be fucked up, you kind of want to breed into other areas.
exactly. I mean, basically, we need more mutt breeds, instead of just having purebreds because
Like my
like I
dog Sirius, her dad, one of her parents might have been a husky because she kind of looks like a little wolf, but she is a palm mix, and you can tell with her tail and stuff. But either a German Shepherd or a Husky could have been one of her parents because she looks like a little wolf with a Pomeranian tail. But
yeah, in
I've
fact,
had people come up to me and say, "Oh my god, your dog is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I have a Pom too." And I'm like, "Well, she's a Pom mix, but thank you."
yeah, in fact, my grandparents actually had a pair of Alaskan Husky and Wolf hybrids. But they're gone now, and I really enjoyed them. Their names were
but
Juno and Raja.
but but the every time I've brought Sirius in for like shots or something, I'm told she's very healthy and stuff. And I always and I asked once if it was because she was mixed because there you Animal Planet was one of the channels I had before my dad and I cut the cable because we realized pretty much stuff we liked we could find on YouTube and stuff. So we were just wasting our money having cable, but we had Animal Planet and they had Dog 101, and they'd give you information on various breeds of dogs and whether or not they were good with kids and stuff. So in case you wanted to, get a family dog or something, you could avoid these breeds if you had small children and stuff. And every time there was always a health problem that worried the hell out of me. Like I find pugs adorable, but knowing that a pug can have breathing problems, every time a pug be like I'd be like, "Oh god, are you sneezing or having breathing problems? Oh god, oh god, oh god. I'm going to have to put you down because you're having breathing problems. Oh god, help me."
Oh God, yeah, definitely.
But I was told that being a mixed breed, that is probably why she's healthier than most dogs he sees because she hasn't basically been inbred pretty much. Because that's eventually what it gets down to. Because everyone wants to keep the same dog, so they eventually start inbreeding, and it's like, yeah, maybe you need to just let nature take its course and let dogs be whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I heard there's also the thing with overbreeding them because once you breed them too much, you start getting the same thing, the same defects in the animal because they're not meant to keep on having kids over and over and over again.
Well, we got Sirius and my cat Sweetum spayed just because I wanted to not have to worry every time I opened the door that she'd get out, and then when she finally came back, she'd have a couple extra guests for the house, if you know what I'm saying. And I told my dad we have to get her spayed because if she gets pregnant, I'm not going to want to give up the puppies once they're old enough. I'm not going to want to. So it's basically to prevent my dad having to be like, give me the puppy. We have to give them away. I'm like, no, I've bonded with them.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But oh god damn, it this is just a crazy world we live in, and I just actually feel like there's just too much hecticness, not enough factual evidence going around. Basically, everything is just going topsy turvy. Everybody's actually relying on outrage and stuff like that. It's just getting ridiculous.
Oh, I saw a thing by Clownfish. I don't know if I talked about it in the last thing, but it was people complaining about there not being enough Asian people in Cobra Kai. And I'm like, I
Oh
love
god,
how
Tony.
Oh yeah, I heard they're
say
not diverse enough.
I
Oh,
love how you say Asian people, especially Japanese people, are white, but the minute you need to have your argument, they miraculously become people of color. I forget who told me, but one of my friends on Twitter came up with this term of Japanese people are Schrodinger's white. They are neither white but also white. Basically, basically when the SJWs want to scream about like Ida doing a Native American drawing, he becomes white despite being Japanese. However, when they need to argue about there not being enough diversity in Cobra Kai, suddenly Japanese people are now people of color.
it's just freaking ridiculous.
Basically, the thing about Schrodinger's cat is the cat is both alive and dead.
As long
Hence
as you don't
the
look in the box.
hence the term Schrodinger's white.
Yeah.
Because basically the SJWs are like, as long as I don't look at this Japanese person, they are white. Oh, but there's not enough diversity. Diversity. Now they're people of color, so I can make my argument. And it's just plain stupid.
Yeah, it's just completely stupid. People need to actually back up what they're trying to say with facts and evidence so that way it proves that they're right. I mean, basically, if you're just actually just saying this kind of stuff just out of moral spite or something like that, and basically it's just gonna freaking make you look bad.
Like Sad Fat Betty.
Exactly.
And I don't care if Sad Fat Betty sees this. He will forever be Sad Fat Betty to me because he couldn't do a simple Google search and find out that it's Japanese cartoons. If he's gonna do that, at least get the right term and don't insult my intelligence.
Exactly. And
I still
basically,
think it comes down to the fact that because of the age of the internet, back in the day, if you were to say some of these things to someone in person, you get punched in the face.
Oh yeah.
exactly.
Oh
But
yeah. Of course that
yeah,
kind of happens now when you got swatting and doxing.
Yeah, I guess.
You
yeah,
just I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but like I said, basically, if you're gonna come at me, at least freaking have the evidence to back up what you are saying. Don't actually just go on a tangent and just, try to freaking slay someone just expecting that, the outrage mob is actually just gonna freaking just cause like all this like hecticness and all this crap. Okay? My dude, Yakuza Western Killa, you screwed up. This is on you. I, uh, I mean you no ill will or anything like that, but please, if you're gonna freaking try to slander me and try to actually say like, I'm a bad person and all that, at least have actual evidence to back it up. Okay? Basically, this whole drama bull crap that you're actually trying to spew on me or stuff like that is not gonna fly. Okay? Straight up. Basically, I still have friends that actually know that have my back. And basically, I'm really glad that I have 100 plus subscribers for my YouTube channel, and I want to keep it growing. Basically, sure, I I I mean you no ill will or anything, but listen, there's actually a certain time to play this kind of stuff, and basically, you gotta learn to actually do a little more research when it comes to anime. And basically, you screwed up big time.
I
So
I I remember this scene from Monsters Inc. where Randall, the bad guy, is like, "Where's the child, you one-eyed cretin?" And Mike's like, "First of all, it's Cretin. If you're going to insult me, get it right."
yeah, that's a good movie.
But
Now
but
the second
comparing
one, they had a backstory with those two.
but but then that's an insult to Randall comparing him to sad fat Betty.
Ooh, yeah, definitely. I mean,
Because
basically,
unlike sad fat Betty, Randall is a fun character. Even if he's trying to basically suck the life out of a child for streams.
well, anyway, guys, I'm probably gonna call it good here. So, would you guys actually like to say any final words before I actually end the stream?
Eat the
Uh,
woke.
Go ahead, D girl. I'll go last.
Eat the woke. That's the only use there'll be is food. Eat the woke.
Hey, bit Shinobi.
We have our virtual Ottawa VCon coming up in March 27th to 28th. We got Vic Mignogna coming, Chuck Huber, Stephanie Nadalin. We're interviewing Stephanie Nadalin next week on our channel. So check out at H Shinobi on my Twitter for details.
Ooh, I'll have to try and swing by.
Yeah, and as for me, well, this is actually where we actually end things for now. So just actually keep liking anime and just remember these three things, guys. Respect the waifus, enjoy your fandoms, anime is freedom, and until the next one, this is Mr. Ami343 saying, sayonara,
Ready to
everyone.
say goodbye.
Take care. Bye.
Later.
Later.